Well, hey there. Welcome back to Satisfactory for Dummies. I am your dummy in charge, or dick, if you will, Joe Mama. So I was taking a look at the video that I made last time, our latest video. I was kind of listening to myself explain about a, quote, tuned input. A lot of words, and I droned on, and it's just, I'm listening to this, I'm like, that, you know, if anybody actually has the strength and wherewithal to listen to everything I'm saying and comprehend it, good luck to them, because I couldn't even do it. I use that term tuned in relation to like an exhaust from an engine, when all the exhaust pipes, all the headers off of the engine are the same length and they come together at the proper point in the exhaust pipe, and that way all the pulses of pressure in the engine can mesh together well when they exit the exhaust pipe, and so they don't interfere with each other, and it's called a tuned exhaust. It allows for maximum airflow out the back of the engine. For a set of machines, I call it a tuned input. So what do I mean by that? So I arranged these things below me, and I'm sitting in a tower in our little area here, and I set these little arrangements up, set these demonstrations up so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And we're going to do a little experiment, because let me tell you something about guys. And I say guys because statistically speaking, the largest percentage of the people who watch my videos are male. That's what my analytics tell me. So let me tell you something about males, about guys. Having been one for 50 years, guys we're turned on, educated, we are enlightened by things that we see. Everything clicks when we see something demonstrated. And if you think I'm kidding, well, why do you think guys are the ones that have issues with pornography, you know? Why is it always the guys and not the girls who have the pornography issues? It's because guys see things. We are better educated by demonstrating things. So therefore, I made this thing so you could see exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about a tuned input. You know, we got a belt that carries a whole lot of stuff, and we want to give even input to all the machines in a line. And that's what we try to do. In order to do that using splitters, we have to set them up in an arrangement similar to this. A full belt goes to the first splitter, which evenly distributes it to another set of splitters, and that set of splitters evenly distributes it to either another set of splitters again, or to the machines or storage units that are in question. I set up my power plant all the way over there. We set up that power plant. We wanted to get coal evenly to all the machines. What I had actually done is I set up an arrangement like this. The feed comes in one side. The splitter either sends it into the destination, which could be another power plant, or it sends it to the next splitter, which sends it to a power plant or a storage unit, or that splitter also could send it to yet another splitter and another splitter. And we could have an infinite number of splitters down the line. I mean, it's a nice, compact, resource-efficient way to distribute items among machines. But as we're going to demonstrate, it's not an even distribution. Whereas this, it's very cumbersome looking. It takes a lot of resources, and it takes a lot of space. As you can see, I mean, look at all the squares this takes up versus how many squares this takes up. So obviously, if efficiency is the name of the game, this seems to be the way to go. But what I'm going to demonstrate is, if you want to evenly distribute, and if that's super important to you, to evenly distribute your resources to all the machines, then you're going to want to do something like this. I set this arrangement up here, which is basically the same as this, but it's arranged in a somewhat more compact way. It's still the same arrangement, it's just I compacted it a little bit. So I mean, just to show you that yes, you can compress this tuned input down a little bit, but it still takes up more space than this non-tuned input. Again, that's my term for these. That's not a satisfactory term, but it's my term. So let's demonstrate this though. Let's show exactly how it works. So if you're looking at this thinking, well, this should work, this should distribute an even number of materials to each container, let's go ahead and demonstrate that, because I'm here to tell you that this splitter right here is going to send half of the materials it gets into this container, and the remaining half is going to be distributed among these other 3. And then that amount is going to be evenly distributed by this splitter to this container or these 2 containers. So I think what you're going to find is I'm going to put a stack. Half of the stack is going to end up in this first container. And then the remaining half is going to be distributed among these other 3, but it's going to be distributed thusly. This splitter will distribute half of what it gets into this container, and then these other 2, which all come from the same splitter, are going to get the same amount. So if we have a stack of, let's pick something. We got the biofuel, which is 200. So I predict, just given that, I predict that this container is going to get 100, this one's going to get 50, and these remaining 2 are going to get 25. That's my prediction. So let's go ahead and check that out, just so you can see exactly how this works. Okay, so let's hop up in here, and you can see it in action. Again, this is all to demonstrate, you know, when you do inputs to your various machines and everything, understand exactly what you're doing. Okay, look at this. Look at this piece right here. This little bit of conveyor belt. Look how the frequency of stuff going in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you look at this one here, all the way at the end, 1, 2, 3. It should be very obvious that this container is going to get the most amount of materials compared to these other 3. And even this one right here, the second one, 1, 2, 3. That's still a higher frequency than these here. So let's watch. Okay, now it's done. Everything has been distributed. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, yep, sure enough, 100 in the first container, 50 in the next, and 25, 25. So that demonstrates that this distribution setup that we've been using, it works, but it's not the most efficient way to do it. Now, or it's not the best way to split stuff evenly. All right, let's go ahead and let's reroute the belt to here. And this is an arrangement that's set up to evenly distribute among the containers. Very similar to this. It's just a different arrangement, or not a different arrangement. It is the belts are different lengths. The splitters are in different places. Now let's go ahead, let's drop a stack of that in there, and let's see what happens. Now you can kind of see, just looking at the inputs to all the containers, you can kind of look at that and think, yep, that is about even. If you look at the inputs of one container versus the containers around it, you can see it's pretty well even. Well, let's see what we get at the end of the demonstration. Okay, that's the end. And now with a stack of 200, an even distribution should be 50 in each container, which there we go, 50 in that one. We'll collect that up. Yep, 50 in that one, 50 in that one, and 50 in that one. So there we go. That arrangement right there is what you need to do if you want a nice, even distribution among the containers. Let me just walk over here to one of these things. Okay, so here we are at the other side of the platform. You can see I've laid out another arrangement here. It's 12 containers with a distribution system that's evenly distributing it to all the containers. What I'm trying to demonstrate here is what the conditions need to be in order to get that even distribution. Hopefully this is obvious. It's kind of difficult to explain, but you've got 3 layers here. There's the first set of splitters, which is basically just one splitter, which distributes stuff down to the next layer of splitters. Okay, you can see here's the next layer of splitters is 2 splitters. And then the third layer of splitters here is a total of 4 splitters. The key to this is the outputs of the splitters need to have the same kind of destination. All the outputs need to have the same kind of destination. And when I say that, I mean that, quote, kind of destination can be another splitter or the final destination, which is, say, a machine or a container. Notice all the outputs on this splitter go to splitters, and all the outputs on these splitters go to splitters, and all the outputs on the final layer of splitters go to containers. you know, it could be container, could be machine, whatever, but basically it's not another splitter. It's either continues on its way through another splitter or final destination. Ooh, one other thing. You notice how the splitters can be arranged so they split into 2 or 3 outputs? So that's the other thing. If you want even distribution, all the splitters in a layer need to have the same number of outputs. Okay, like if I set up 11 containers, for example, if I just, this splitter right here, I just remove the output. So this one has 2, while all the others have 3. Well, these 2 containers are going to have more materials in it than all of the other containers. Okay, again, this is obvious probably to 90% of you, but for 10% of you out there who are fuzzy, all the splitters and the layers just need to have the same number of outputs. It could be 2, could be 3, doesn't matter. They just all need to be the same. By the way, want to demonstrate this one as well? Let's put some quick wire in there. Yeah, quick wire is a stack of 500. Let's go back up here to our tower and let's watch this happen. That's the end of the line. Okay, let's take a look. Just to demonstrate that this works. Now, 500 divided by 12. I mean, I think you can, anybody who's a little bit savvy at math can see that that's not going to come up with an even number. So we're not going to get an exactly similar amount in each container, but it will be pretty damn close. Okay, first one's 41. Let's grab that up. 42. 42. 42. Yeah, I'm seeing a pattern here. How about you? 42, and this one's going to be 41. 41. Okay. So let's collect the rest of them. 41, yep. And then the last 3. 42, 42, and then 41. Am I right? Yep, 41. Okay, cool. So there we go. So we can see that even along, you know, a great number of destinations, containers, machines, whatever, we get the same result. We get a nice even distribution. But again, look how much space that takes up. So that's why it's very common to opt to say, you know, just run 1 string splitters that go to each destination, and it pulls off the main bus. Again, the only problem is this first container or destination is going to get all of the materials, and the one at the very end is going to get the least. Okay, I think we made that clear. All right, let's get to our game. Let's progress. If you notice, if you look up to the upper right where we usually keep our milestones, we are without a milestone for our hub. Okay, that's because I've gotten them all. We have almost completed the tier, but what I have done is I went ahead and created a whole bunch of materials here. What is this thing called? Versatile Framework. I went ahead and created a bunch of those. Also, this automated wiring, I've created a bunch of that. So we've got everything we need to go ahead and close out this space elevator requirement. So we'll put that there, we'll put that there. We'll let those fill up. Oh, come on, you. Did it just not do it? Just decided not to do it? Oh, are we missing? Okay, well, let's do this then. There we go, different speed belt. All right, so there we go, all the materials going in there. That is so cool. Okay, I want to show you guys something. While that does its thing, I want to show you guys a little factoid with the awesome sink. Let's go to the awesome sink. Okay, so here we are in our little awesome sink. Now, right now, we've got copper ingots going into the awesome sink. Do you remember we said something about how the awesome sink credits you with a certain amount of points per item that you put in it? Back off a little bit. No, I can't. The point value of those items depends on how complex they are. How much work did it take to create that item? Well, this is just a copper ingot. It doesn't take much work. If you look, it's taking away 6 points, or it's giving us 6-point credit. It's taking away the amount we need until the next coupon. So you notice, so the standard points until next coupon, that amount, that requirement is dropping by 6 points with every copper ingot. 6 points ain't much, okay? It's not a complex item. It's not a lot of points. Now I want to show you something. Let's take a walk to the other awesome sink. What other awesome sink, Eric? Well, let me tell you. There's another awesome sink. Okay, so somebody mentioned to me in one of the comments about about should I use hypertubes to get from one place to another on the base, or should I just do everything in one place? Well, I'm here to tell you, do both. Use your hypertubes to get around your base, but by all means, belt things as much as you can to one place. Now, hopefully, oh yeah, we did it. Okay, we've completed the space elevator, and with the space elevator requirements completed, we might be able to move on to some transportation. So moving things around, we can belt it to one place, or if it's far enough away, we can use alternate modes of transportation. Okay, so here's another awesome sink. Now, as I said, now this awesome sink has nothing going into it. However, we could print coupons from this awesome sink, and we can monitor the cumulative efforts of all the awesome sinks in the game from any awesome sink, even if it's not actually being used. And as you can see, 6 points, 6 points, 6 points. But watch this. Now, I set up these little assembly areas for different components, and you can see right here, this is the final assembly for the versatile framework. Let's grab some of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's grab a bunch of them. Now, these versatile frameworks, let's tell you what's involved with those. They are created with steel beams and modular frames. The steel beams are coming in from a little steel plant that I set up over here. So steel takes some work, takes some effort, it takes smelting, it takes constructors, but then these frames are complex items. These modular frames, they're being assembled over here. And these things take iron rods and reinforced plates, which themselves, the reinforced plates, are a complex item. They take screws and iron plates, and the screws have to be created from iron rods. So a lot of effort goes into these versatile frames that are in here. So let's do this. We're gonna pop some of these into the awesome sink. We're gonna pop it into this container. Let's sort them and goink, 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 goink. Okay. So they're going into the awesome sink. Now, watch this number drop like a frickin' rock. Look how much it's dropping. Look how quickly that number is dropping. It's dropping by thousands. That is a statement as to just how valuable complex items are when it comes to the awesome sink. I mean, look how fast they're going in there. I think, can I grab one? Okay, I grabbed one. I grabbed one, so I might be able to. Okay, yeah, look how fast. Look how we're making coupons like mad right now. Did we finish? Okay. So look at it right now. It's about 35,000. So if I pop this in here, 33. It dropped almost 2,000 points. I think it's about 1,200 points is what it comes to. Each of those versatile frames. Now I could just feed this container, because I don't need these versatile frames right now. I could just feed this container right into the awesome sink and probably start racking up points for coupons. But it sucks down these steel beams, and I need those steel beams. I cannot be losing those steel beams. By the way, I also, off camera, consolidated a lot of our concrete, our limestone production. I basically took almost all our limestone and brought it to these machines right here. So these machines are pumping out, which, by the way, let me show you something. Remember what I said about the outputs, or the tuned inputs and outputs? See this set of outputs right here? It's not really tuned at all. It's just, they all go into a series of splitters. There's no even, I say even distribution, but it's consolidating it. It's not distributing, it's consolidating. This is storing up the concrete. Key here is this concrete is going to these machines right here, which is making encased industrial beams, which is a mixture of concrete and steel beams. And they're going into here, and that's going to be very valuable later on to us when we start creating tier 4 belts. Up into this. Oh, space elevator, yes. We've finished loading up our space elevator. Let's go ahead and send stuff on its way. So, blink, seal it up. And send that bad boy. Bye. Okay. Wow, we've already... Oh, look at that. Okay. Look at the versatile frameworks. We need versatile frameworks. Look at that. Okay. Take a look. If you look at the upper right, we need 2,500 versatile framework. So I would need a total of 50 stacks, and I've got 24 still. Basically, I need an industrial container's worth. Ew. That's gonna take forever. All right. There. Okay, that'll open up some storage space so these assemblers can start really assembling those versatile frames. Okay, we're gonna need them. Now look at the other items there. We'll get to those, but we don't have the ability to create any of those right now. So let's go ahead back to our hub, and we're going to see what we now have the ability to create. But here. All right, we're at tier 5, tier 6. Ooh, oil processing. Yes, I think this is an absolute must. Okay, gas mask, not so important. Alternative fluid transportation. Okay, so we can containerize things. Industrial manufacturing, what does that give us? That gives us computers, modular and adaptive control units. Okay, we can do tier 6 as well if we want. And we have our monorail train technology. Hells yeah. Logistics Mark IV. Okay. Oh, fuel generator comes with that. Oh, we want that too. Damn, lots of good stuff here. Oh man. First, let's do oil processing. It's industrial manufacturing. Yeah. We did that. Okay, there's the adaptive control unit that we're going to need. You can see it up there in the upper right. We're going to need to make those, but we need to be able to make rubber and plastic. Modular engine, which is also right here. Before we can do that, we need plastic and rubber, all of which we can't do without oil processing. Okay, this is where things get interesting. This jetpack also a very cool thing to have, and we will absolutely be going for that. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead, set up our monorail train technology. We'll do that because trains are so awesome to have in this game. We need to be able to make computers though. Can we make computers yet? I'm not sure if we can. It's industrial manufacturing. Okay. Ooh, makes me wonder if we shouldn't go for that, but we really need oil processing. We really need to do that because we can't do industrial manufacturing without plastic and rubber. So it seems like oil processing is the way to go. Oil processing. So be it. Okay, also I want to show you something else. So in the course of working on the MAM, I've opened up fabric to us. Now fabric can be created by using mycelia and biomass. So there's this assembler over here which takes and makes fabric by taking in biomass and mycelia. But the biomass comes in from this feed over here. Now this feed is fed by 3 different constructors. The constructors here are, let's see, turns leaves into biomass, turns wood into biomass, and I think this one actually turns mycelia into biomass. So that way, if the only thing in your inventory is a big stack full of mushrooms, you can split the stack and throw one into this container right here, and throw the rest into this container, which goes directly into the fabric assembler over there. So if you put mycelia into this container right here and this container right here, you're going to get fabric. Or you could just take wood and leaves and throw them into these containers, and then this container right here up on top spits out fabric. And let me show you fabric. Let's go back to the MAM. Get off there. We go to mycelia. What have we got left? Okay, we need more mycelia. We just constantly need mycelia. Mushrooms. Oh, this one right here, we could make a parachute, or we could research parachutes rather, with 10 fabric. You know what? Let's go ahead and do that. I've never actually used a parachute in this game. We'll grab that. Research that. All right. Now this, we've got fabric. We need fabric, but we need polymer resin. We can't do that till we have oil. And then, oh, dadgummit. Okay, these vitamin inhalers will actually increase your health. I think they'll max out your health, but you just need to supply mycelia to do the research. Okay, toxic cellular modification. Again, we need a whole bunch of mycelia to do it. Synthetic. Okay, what else? Okay, this is therapeutic inhaler, but we need a couple of different kinds of mushrooms and alien protein to do it, but still, we need mycelia. All right, let's take a look. Let's go down the MAM and see if there's anything we can make based on what we've got. Okay, this object scanner right here. We need to make these crystal oscillators, which we can only make with quartz. What else? Okay, we need steel beams and alien DNA capsules. We could do that. Expanded tool belt. And medicinal inhaler to inhale some nuts, some alien protein, and we need some more rotors. Okay. Well, you know what? We do need for this. First, let's go ahead and add these things that we already do have. We can get the beams, we can get the pipes, we can get the copper sheets, but we need the motors. So let's see if we can make any motors on us. See what's required to make the motors. Motor. Okay, we need the rotors and the stators. Of course. Okay, rotors and stators. Let's go grab a bunch. Because I've actually made some. As I recall, I think they're up here. By the way, let's check our power. Okay, I want to tell you something about the power. One of the reasons I did the whole thing with the even distribution and that little demonstration, the reason I did all that is, A, I was listening to myself talk and I didn't like what I was hearing. Also, a little while after I set up all 32 power plants, because we've got 32 coal power plants going, I set them all up. And at first, they started spitting out 2,400 megawatts worth of power. And I'm thinking, we did it, got it. 32 power plants are giving their full capacity, we're good. And then sometime after that, short time, long time, not really sure, all of a sudden I started having hiccups. I noticed that it was no longer holding 2,400, it was dipping down to almost 2,100. It was dropping a lot. I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? That should be enough. I was giving it enough coal, and I went down there and I looked, and I'm like, it's okay. The miners are outputting enough coal to keep up with it. The water pumps are more than enough. There's more than enough water going into it. And then I noticed what had happened. What had happened is I had a container. You remember there was a container of coal down there? That container of coal, well, it had been full of coal. It had been collecting coal. It was full. So initially, when we thought everything was good, it was because that container was feeding coal to the machines, to the power plants at the same speed at the fastest speed of these belts, which these belts, if you look, these Mark III belts spit out stuff at 270 resources per minute. I only needed 240. I think it was 240 for each of those belts. Okay, so the belts are sufficient to carry all that number, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm good. I'm got 240 items per minute. Let's say 240 divided by 15, I believe is it 16? Is that right? Yeah. 240 divided by 15 is the number of coal per minute that each power plant needs. There were 16 power plants on each string of coal belts. So each coal belt feeding 16 power plants, that's 240, and that's within the capacity of the belt. So I was thinking we're good, but it turned out that capacity was being met by the container, by the coal in the container. But the container was not getting 240 per minute. It was getting less than that because when I was changing out all the belts, like you have the ability here, like watch this. I can take, like this is a tier 1 belt right here. Is that what it says? Can't really see it, but yeah, it says conveyor belt Mark 1. I can upgrade it So I can take these, I can just upgrade it just like that. And I did that to all the belts except one small segment. And you ever heard the term, you ever heard the phrase, you're only as strong as your weakest link? A chain is only as strong as its weakest link? Well, a logistics system is only as strong as its slowest belt. Why is this going so slow? Yeah, it's doing its thing. They're just very slow. Okay. But yeah, a logistics system is only as fast as its slowest belt. And as it turned out, there was a belt in the system that could not keep up with 240 items per second. And so some of the power plants were starving. So I found that problem, corrected it, and now we've got a nice steady 2400. So that was a stator. We need rotors. I set up construction of rotors for the smart plates, but 2, 3, okay. And I never took those assembly machines apart. All right, so let's make some motors, 50 of them if possible. And next we'll go collect up our steel pipes, encased beams, and copper sheets. And then we'll go ahead and get oil processing up and running. And I happen to know where there is some oil. And then we'll get trains well underway. I'm gonna go ahead and deposit the motors in here, along with any other pertinent items that I have on me to more or less like clean out my inventory a little bit. All right, they go there. Yeah, this base is big enough. We should make hypertubes just to get around. And you know what? Maybe we'll do that. We won't be able to do trains today, unfortunately, but we could do us some hypertubes. Now you'll also notice that I have not set up a truck relay system, and you know what? I probably won't. I mean, we can try it. I've just never done it, and I don't see the benefit, because I would rather run belts the whole way and just get a constant supply than worry about the trucks doing what they're supposed to do, because from what I understand, they operate pretty janky. Okay, let's go around this way. They can get pretty erroneous, crazy paths that they follow, and they get lost. So I don't know. I'll think very carefully. I might try it just for the sake of the video making, but otherwise I have never used them. I don't see the need. I am perfectly fine setting up long belts going from one place to another. By the way, yep, I set up belts picking up iron and copper and coal from different places. I've even got this belt way over here, which you can barely see. Look at those balloon looking plants up there. Do you see that belt though up there? You see that? See that belt? That's actually bringing in sulfur. And I used sort of a method of cheating the system. Rather than using supports, okay, let's grab a stack of these. Rather than using these supports right here, these stackable conveyor poles, what I did was I just ran a long belt on a set of foundations and then disassembled the foundations and left the belt hanging in the air. I mean, it works. Why not? Why not do it? I've done that a few times. Because I was trying to set up really high stacks of the stackable poles, and I realized I don't need to do that at all. I can just disassemble the foundations right underneath it, and it works just fine. All right, let's bring this back to the hub, and I'm glad we got some of those copper sheets, because we'll need those for hypertubes. Okay, so what can I put in here? Bing, bing, bing. Put those. So we just need the copper sheets, which are in the inventory of the truck. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Oil processing. Ready for launch.
Milestone reached. Oil acquisition and refining unlocked.
So now we've got
refineries,
refineries,
can now be made.
oil
The
extractors.
byproducts of oil refinement can be used after further processing, as seen in the refinery. Caution.
Okay.
This is a reminder to minimize the chance of expiration during out-of-base activities.
Okay, so we have hypertubes. So let's do a thing right now. Are we sitting above? Okay. So here's what we can do. Let's go to logistics, or is it transportation? Transportation. Oh, you know what? Hypertubes. Let's go to the awesome shop. Let's punch our tickets. Let's go ahead, get our tickets out of the awesome shop. Okay. What do we got? Foundations, walls, equipment, management. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Hypertube wall attachments and floor attachments. Yes. That's cart. Is it like a continue? Okay. Add to the cart. Hypertube wall attachments. Yes. We'll do wall outlets Mark II. Yes. Foundations. Any additional? Not really. Not yet. I'm worried about function, not form right now. Okay, we purchased the stairs. I want to get the catwalks. I would like to get the catwalks. All right, let's add those. We got the railings. We got that modern pillar set. We'll get that. Don't need that just yet. Grip material. Not worried about that just yet. Oh, little cart. Oh yeah, lots of great stuff. Lots of crazy stuff, honestly. Equipment, we got that. Oh, stun rebar pack. No. Oh, that's another thing I want to show you. Yes. Oh, damn it. Did I? Okay, cart. Buy all. Yes. Okay. I want to show you this. We got a thing. Put the tickets back. So, look what I got. I got a rebar gun. Okay, found it in the MAM, researched it, we got a rebar gun. So we've got some projectile defense. The only thing is, we also eventually will have the option of getting, see, quartz, like, shatter rebar, which is basically like a shotgun. Sulfur, I can't see it yet, but there's also explosive rounds that we can get eventually. So very cool stuff. Oh, hypertubes. Right. Let's do the hypertube thing. That's why we went to the awesome shop to begin with. So we're going to put a hypertube in the floor, I think. We're gonna put a hole in the floor. Where do we want it to pop out? I'm thinking right there. We'll have it pop out. Now, just because you have the hole doesn't mean you have the entrance. So make sure you get the entrance. You need to have the entrance. So let's do the floor hole over here, maybe. And can we do the entrance there? Okay. So just because you have the hole doesn't mean you have the entrance. The entrance is what's going to allow you to go in and out. And it needs to be powered. Okay. So that is now powered. But we need to, of course, have tubes. So let's do this. All right, we're gonna have enough? Yeah, I think we should. Okay, I'm gonna run the tubes underneath here. We can run it over. Oh, we can, thanks to the awesome shop, we can hang them from the ceiling as well. Okay, where do we want to go? I'm thinking not far. I want to keep it sort of neat, I think. We want to go, one of our places we would like to go, I think, is near the space elevator. Alright, let's go. Let's see, I want to try to get an idea where we can put the next hole. Okay, where are we at? We might have to do a little trial and error to find out where the hole needs to be. Actually, here's what we can do. Remember what I said about subfloors? Make sure you use subfloors. You can do that in this game. Okay. Okay, right there. Okay. We're gonna set up a subfloor. I'm telling you, subfloors are the way in this game to kind of avoid a lot of visible spaghetti. They are great. Okay, that's done. Then Let's see, R for zoop. There we go. Okay, so let's put it right there, and then we'll put a hole, not a wall hole, a floor hole, probably right about there. Hypertube. Okay, so now we have the hole, but we still need to create the entrance. That hole is not an entrance. So, Hypertube entrance. Then, let's get the power over here so we can run it. And honestly, we can disassemble all this, you know, if we want. We could do that. I'll just leave it there for now. Not a huge deal. Okay, so both ends are powered. Both ends have entrances. Ooh. And now we can hypertube from one place to another so we don't constantly have to jump over those belts. Ooh. Booyah. So there we are. And we can go right back. And there's not really a limit to how far you can send these things. You can send them all over the map if you want. But, and I can set one here. In fact, I might even bring the hub over here too, to be honest. But we can set these things all over this platform and just get from one place to another if we would like. And yeah, so that opens up a whole lot of new options for us. But here's the thing, I think we've kind of run out of time for doing oil. I think what I'll do is I will, off camera, I will set up some oil, and because it actually takes a little bit of thought, and then I'll walk you through what we did. In fact, I might even set up just, okay, let me take a look at the map. Somewhere over here, there's oil. We'll find it. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we can actually check that. Let's go to V, oil, and let's look on the map to see where it shows up. There's going to be some over in this area, but I'm really interested in the stuff that shows up over here. Okay. There we have some oil over there. We can get to that, but this stuff right here, this is kind of what I'm interested in. We're going to go here. There's like 4 nodes of oil over there, 4 oil wells. We'll go ahead and tap that oil. We go ahead and tap that, and I'll tap some of them, and then I'll walk you through the tapping of the remaining bit that's in that area. I'll tap 3, set up the refineries, and then we'll tap the remaining one. We'll see. We'll get to that, and hopefully we can start talking about trains. I think we'll cover that next time. There is something else I wanted to see though. Okay, that's already launched. Okay, we're waiting for it to come back, and it will be back in 2 minutes. All right. I want to check out the tiers. All right, I think our next milestone ought to be industrial manufacturing, because everything here we can create with the technology we already have. So let's go ahead and select that milestone, and yeah, I think that'll be good. And then also, I'm going to do some MAM research off camera, like quartz. We found quartz. We just need to get quartz to where we are at. And it is a long way. It's like, where did we find it? It's all the way up here, I think. And I think that's a good use for trains. But I think that's going to do it for now. I hope y'all had a little bit of an education. Hope y'all learned something. And again, well, it just seems like there's just not enough time to teach everything that needs to be taught, especially when it's coming from me. But anyway, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.